Yo, what is up guys? Welcome to the day 66 recap of the 2016-2017 NBA season. So All-Star voting began earlier this week, and this year I made it a point to try and get the message across to try and prevent the atrocity of the voting that happened last year from happening again. I mean, you had players like Zaza Pachulia almost starting the All-Star game, Andre Iguodala and Harrison Barnes getting more votes than Gordon and Hayward. It was just an atrocity, alright? That's part of the reason why the NBA is now letting the players and the media vote, because the fans quite simply can't be trusted anymore. It's not the fans that can be trusted, not the fans, but the other people. You guys know who I'm talking about. Those people can't be trusted anymore. You know, we can't have nice things because of them. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is I'm going to be going over the players who I feel should be the starters for the All-Star game. The players that I will vote for personally to start the All-Star game, to hopefully shed some light for any of you guys that might be struggling with who to pick. For those of you guys that don't know, the formula is 2 guards plus 3 front court players. So it doesn't have to be point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. No, it could be point guard, small forward, small forward, small forward, shooting guard, center, center. It doesn't matter. It's just the top 2 guards that get the most votes, and then the top 3 front court players that get the most votes as well. I actually found the Eastern Conference a bit tougher to decide than the West. We're gonna start with the West real quick because this was quite simple. James Harden and Russell Westbrook. Now this is pretty obvious because these 2 players have been on another level this season. That being said though, I've come to the reality that Stephen Curry could be starting this All-Star game. Does he deserve it over either one of these players? No. But I've come to the realization that because of them, and you guys know what I'm talking about, it's still possible that Stephen Curry gets a start over James Harden, which would be a sad thing because to put Stephen Curry, who is a great player, he is definitely not more deserving of an All-Star start this year over James Harden, and the fact that it could still possibly happen is kind of sad. Vote for James Harden, vote for Russell Westbrook. Those are the guards. Now for the front court players, this was also really easy. Of course, you got Kevin Durant, DeMarcus Cousins, and Anthony Davis. The only real thing I was stuck on in the West was either DeMarcus Cousins or Kawhi Leonard. That was the thing that it was like a toss-up, and I just gave it to DeMarcus Cousins just because, you know, I feel like he's gonna get in anyways because he's more of a known name around the NBA than Kawhi Leonard, because, you know, Kawhi Leonard is so quiet. And then Anthony Davis, of course, because even though he's on the Pelicans, who aren't the best team in the NBA, he's still one of the best players in the NBA. Anthony Davis is out here tearing it up this year. I mean, if he had a good team, then he would be an MVP candidate as well. But yeah, those are the starters for the West. Now let's get into the East, where it's a bit trickier, especially when it comes to the guards. The one I knew I was going to vote for to start was DeMar DeRozan. I knew I was going to vote for DeMar DeRozan just because he's been having a phenomenal year. Remember, it was like his first 7 or so games, he had like at least 30 points. He was averaging over 30 points for a while there. But he's still been having a really good year. You know, he's still shooting the ball much better than he's ever been before. He's assisting more, he's rebounding more, he's playing better defense. DeMar DeRozan has just stepped up his game overall. I really think he should be a starter, but then when it came to his backcourt mate, of course you had to take a look at Kyle Lowry, you had to take a look at Isaiah Thomas, John Wall, and Kyrie Irving. Those are the players who I was stuck between voting for, because John Wall, the Wizards they're basically at the 500 mark now, largely in part due to John Wall. I don't think he's getting enough recognition for what he's doing right now. Because of course there's Kyle Lowry, who's been having a fantastic season as well. Then you have Isaiah Thomas, who has been absolutely killing it. He's now on a 17-game streak where he scored at least 20 points. He's only not scored 20 points once so far this season. Isaiah Thomas is having the best season of his career, averaging like 27 points and 6 assists. And then of course you have Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving, especially as of late, this is what, like 4 of the past 5 games he's had over 10 assists. He's also been stealing the ball a lot more, and then of course he's been scoring still. He's been taking over the games. Of course he's still clutch. This was the hardest part of deciding the entire thing, the guards in the East. But I decided to go with Kyrie Irving. I decided to go with Kyrie Irving. So Kyrie Irving and DeMar DeRozan running the backcourt. And now for the front court, this was easier, I would say. I went with Jimmy Butler since he's played small forward this year. Of course, LeBron James, and then Giannis Antetokounmpo. This is the one you guys are really gonna have to vote for, because if you're not an actual NBA fan, like these players, like these other people who just randomly vote, they're not gonna vote for Giannis because they have no idea who this is. You guys have to vote for Giannis. Get Giannis into the All-Star game as a starter because he deserves to be a starter this All-Star game. Those are the players that I'm voting for. I know when it comes to voting, it's going to be hard not to vote for your favorite player on your favorite team. But you have to realize that that player just isn't as good as some other players. Like, I would have loved to see the whole Pistons starting five go out there for the Eastern Conference. You know, I would love to see at least Andre Drummond start, but I know that he doesn't deserve it this year over some of the other players in the East. He doesn't deserve it over LeBron James, Giannis Antetokounmpo, or Jimmy Butler. So I just can't play favorites. You know, I can't play favorites, and then that would be kind of like a waste of a vote to say, because, you know, Andre most likely isn't going to get enough votes to get in, so I might as well make sure the players who deserve to get in, who could get enough votes, do get in. So if you're like a Portland fan, of course you're going to want to see Damian Lillard starting. He's a really good player, but then you have to realize, is he more deserving than James Harden and Russell Westbrook? And the answer is no. Now moving on to the recap section of the video. Speaking of Russell Westbrook, if you've ever wondered what the Thunder would look like without him this year, you got a bit of a glimpse into it last night. It was only like for a little over a quarter. Russell Westbrook was ejected in the third quarter for arguing with the referees about the ball grazing the rim. He got ejected for that. The Thunder were already down 16, but after Russell Westbrook went out, it just got a lot worse for the Thunder, and they wound up losing to Memphis Grizzlies, of course. Cleveland had a big lead over the Boston Celtics, but the Boston Celtics fought back behind Isaiah Thomas. You know, this is, like I said, Isaiah Thomas is a really good point guard, but Kyrie Irving was just a little bit better yesterday, as he had 32 points, 12 assists, 5 rebounds, and 3 steals. Isaiah Thomas had 31 points and 9 assists, but Kyrie Irving edged him out a little bit. And then, of course, you still had Kevin Love with 30 points and 15 rebounds. And then LeBron James almost had a triple-double, 23 points, 11 assists, 8 rebounds, and 3 blocks. So LeBron James, like I said, he's still a freaking beast. Maybe the Raptors should have just accepted an L yesterday against the Golden State Warriors and came back to win this game against the Phoenix Suns, because it didn't look like they had 2 months left in the tank after mounting that comeback against the Golden State Warriors last night. They went out and lost to the Phoenix Suns 99-91. For Phoenix, Eric Bledsoe had 22 points and 10 assists, and Devin Booker is also still having a really good season. He's a much better playmaker than I think people notice. He had 19 points and 5 assists. As for the Toronto Raptors, Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan both chipped in with 24 points, but they just couldn't get any help from basically anyone else on the squad, and it just looked like this Raptors team looked like they were tired. I think the Lakers said, you know what, the playoffs are out the picture. We don't get to keep our pick unless it's top 5, so let's get into that top 5 area and get this pick, because this pick is about to be epic. This is about to be one of the best draft classes in a very long time. They lost to the Dallas Mavericks last night, 101-89. Wesley Matthews, who's been having a resurgent season, I would say, as of late at least, had 20 points last night, and Harrison Barnes chipped in with 17 for Dallas. And like I said, they got the win over the Lakers, who I think are looking to solidify their top 5 lottery pick at this point. The Charlotte Hornets beat the Miami Heat. Yo, Nick Batum could get some votes for an All-Star as well. Yo, the man has been out here balling, especially as of late. Yo, he had 16 points, 13 rebounds, 8 assists, and 3 steals last night. You know, Nick Batum is literally a Swiss Army knife. He goes out there and he does absolutely everything on the basketball court. Any team would love to have Nick Batum. Then you have Kemba Walker, one of the players who will most likely get snubbed from the All-Star game just because there is so much talent. He had 22 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists for the Charlotte Hornets. And Justice Winslow had 1 point for the Miami Heat. Last but not least, the Utah Jazz beat the Philadelphia 76ers. No big surprise here. George Hill made his return once again. Hopefully this time it's for good. Yo, he had 21 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists, so he came back and didn't skip a beat. Still having a really good season. Hasn't played that many games, but he's still out here balling. Then Gordon Hayward, I may not have voted for him as a starter because he didn't deserve it over the players I mentioned before, but make him a reserve coaches. I know that I trust the coaches to do the right thing. Make him a reserve. He had 20 points last night, and Rodney Hood chipped in with 20 points of his own. And that about wraps up all the action of the Day 66 recap of the 2016-2017 NBA season. Comment down below who you guys are voting for the All-Star game. And don't forget to like this video if you liked the video, and subscribe if you haven't already for more daily NBA videos. And until tomorrow, keep getting the buckets, Team SDC, and I'm out of here. Peace!
I'm thinking out loud before we drive.